Hi, thanks for stopping by and tuning in for another dose of bite-sized bits of knowledge where we give you meaningful information in a short amount of time. Today we're jumping into what I think is a really important issue that is commonly overlooked by practitioners and your business owners. The issue is what happens when a business goes through probate. I'm more particularly talking about an incorporated business like an LLC or a corporation or a limited partnership, not like a sole proprietorship that doesn't even have a company formed. So as you know from our prior videos, that a business is just another example of an asset, and that asset gets pooled together with the other assets in probate. Probate, as we talked about the ABCs, assets, beneficiaries, creditors, that asset has to be identified and like I said, pooled together with the other assets and disclosed to the beneficiaries and the creditors and so forth. That asset, which a business, is going to have a value. That value has to be reported on the inventory. That value may be a subject of conflict. If the beneficiaries and the creditors don't agree, you might find yourself getting numerous valuations. Valuations that you cannot just go to a broker and say, what is this worth, sir or ma'am? A valuation is an art and a science. There are companies that all they do is valuations. It's actually quite fascinating, and I'm very intrigued by the area of that practice. But suffice to say, that's expensive. Valuations can be expensive. They could be $15,000, $20,000, maybe $5,000 if it's a simple business, but like $5,000 to $15,000, $20,000, and you might have to get a couple of them because there's competing interests here in your probate. That's just one issue with the business being a part of the probate. That's just one issue, is the valuation, and that's going to have to get resolved. The second issue is that all of this is public. You know, your estate is not private. There's a lot of people who get to see this, you know, under the hood of the business. It's if you want it to be private, your business be private, you better not have it go through probate, and you better have it owned in another way. So, number one, valuation issues. Number two, public. Number three, who's managing the business? If you're the controlling party and you just passed away, if you don't have a stellar governing document like an operating agreement or a shareholders agreement, you may find yourself with a random person being appointed by the court as your personal representative or executor in other states, running this business for you while it's in probate. He or she may have no experience in your business and have no relationship with the people in which he or she is managing or partnering. It's a big problem. The fourth thing that I'll mention is that if you don't have a buy-sell or a shareholders agreement or an operating agreement that addresses, among other things, like disability, bankruptcy, divorce, in this case, death. If you don't have that, then that business is going to go to the beneficiaries of your estate, and those beneficiaries will ultimately become the owners of your share of that business alongside the surviving partners. Those partners and your beneficiaries may get along fabulously, or they may not. Your partners will have a vote, likely. They will have a interest and legal rights in the business to information, disclosures, and they're going to probably not be the best thing for the business. The best thing for the business, probably, and the best thing for your beneficiaries is that business either pays them off and moves on, or produces profits that can go back to those beneficiaries. But the last thing you want to have happen is have these beneficiaries a part of that process if they have no business, pun intended, being part of that process. So these are significant issues if you have a business, and I would highly recommend you never let your business go through probate. I have seen in my personal experience and in professional experience, even businesses that have very little value take a year to go through the court system fighting over all the issues I just mentioned, and cost a lot of money to go through that process. Nobody's happy with that result. So I share this with you in the hopes that you will take affirmative action to avoid it. So I thank you for stopping by. Stay tuned for more.
Hey Mo.